Captain Maya Rodriguez woke up to what looked like a five-star hotel room. Which was weird considering the last thing she remembered was getting shot with some kind of stun weapon during a prison transport. The bed had actual silk sheets. There was a minibar stocked with what appeared to be alien liquor. And someone had even left a fruit basket on the nightstand. Well, this is either the afterlife or the galaxy's most considerate kidnappers, Maya muttered, stretching her arms above her head. That's when the wall shimmered and became transparent, revealing two of the ugliest aliens she'd ever seen. And trust me, Maya had seen some ugly aliens. The first one looked like a praying mantis had a baby with a corporate executive. He wore what appeared to be a military uniform covered in more ribbons than a Christmas tree. The second alien resembled a cross between a squid and a mad scientist, complete with extra arms holding various surgical instruments. "Ah, the human awakens," said the mantis thing in a voice that screamed middle management. "I am Commander Vex of the Galactic Coalition Defense Force. This is Dr. Kelroth, our chief xenobiologist." Maya sat up on the bed and grabbed an apple from the fruit basket. "Nice digs. Usually when I get kidnapped, it's more chains and concrete floors. You guys are really classing up the abduction game." Dr. Kelroth's tentacles writhed with what Maya assumed was excitement. How delightfully primitive. It shows no fear despite its imminent demise. "Oh, I'm dying?" Maya took a bite of the apple. It tasted like strawberries mixed with electricity. "That's new information. Want to fill me in on the details, or are we going with the whole mysterious villain thing?" Commander Vex puffed up with obvious pride. "The Galactic Coalition has developed the most humane method of execution in the known universe. Rather than simply terminating criminals, we provide them with a sporting chance." "How sporting are we talking here? Because if it involves alien golf, I should warn you I have terrible hand-eye coordination. You will be placed in our grand arena with several of the galaxy's most dangerous predators," Vex continued, completely missing the sarcasm. "If you survive for one standard galactic hour, you will be granted your freedom." Maya paused mid-chew. "Let me get this straight. Your idea of humane execution is throwing me into a pit with space monsters?" "It provides hope," Dr. Kelroth added helpfully. "Hope makes the fear more exquisite." "Right. And I suppose you'll be selling tickets to this little show?" Vex's compound eyes literally sparkled. "The entire galaxy will witness the spectacle. We've already pre-sold broadcasting rights to 17 different networks." Maya finished her apple and tossed the core into a wastebasket that looked like it cost more than her old military salary. "You know what? I've had worse Tuesdays. When do we start this cosmic gladiator thing?" The two aliens exchanged what might have been confused looks. It was hard to tell with all the extra eyes and tentacles. "You are not terrified?" Vex asked. "Buddy, I've been married, divorced, and court-martialed. Your monster arena is basically a relaxing vacation at this point." Maya stood up and cracked her knuckles. "So do I get to meet my co-stars before the show? Or is this one of those surprise party situations?" The holding area looked like backstage at the galaxy's worst variety show. Maya was escorted through a series of reinforced cells, each containing something that evolution had clearly designed while having a very bad day. Our first contestant, Dr. Kelroth announced with the enthusiasm of a game show host, is Zrak the Bone Crusher. The creature in question was roughly the size of a small building and looked like someone had crossed a Tyrannosaurus Rex with a really angry rhinoceros. It had more teeth than a shark convention and arms that could probably bench press a small moon. "Human flesh will taste sweet when I grind your bones to powder," Zrak bellowed, slamming his massive fists against the energy barrier. Maya peered at him like she was examining a used car. "Wow, you really lean into the whole intimidation thing, don't you? Ever consider therapy for those anger issues?" Zrak blinked his massive yellow eyes. "What? What?" "I'm just saying, all that shouting can't be good for your throat. Have you tried meditation?" They moved to the next cell, which appeared to be empty except for a cold spot that made Maya's breath visible. "This is Whisper," Vex said, his voice suddenly hushed. "It feeds on fear and despair, growing stronger as its victim's terror increases. A voice like wind through dead leaves spoke from the darkness. I can smell your fear, little human. It will be delicious when I drain every drop of hope from your dying mind. Maya nodded thoughtfully. That's actually pretty poetic. Do you write your own material, or do you have like a team of writers? Because the whole dying mind thing has a nice ring to it. The temperature in the corridor dropped another 10 degrees. You are not afraid? Buddy, I've sat through military briefings that were scarier than you. At least you're interesting. The final cell contained what looked like a living carpet made of insects. Thousands of bug-like creatures moved in perfect synchronization, occasionally forming shapes or patterns. We are the Hive Mind Collective, they spoke in unison, their voices creating an eerie harmony. We will consume your individuality and add your consciousness to our own. Maya whistled appreciatively. Now that's impressive coordination. You guys ever consider going into show business? I bet you could make killer dance videos. The insects stopped moving for a moment, clearly processing this unexpected response. We do not understand. You should be begging for mercy. Look, I appreciate the effort everyone's putting into this whole menacing thing, but can we talk about the elephant in the room? Maya gestured around the holding area. They're making us fight each other for their entertainment. Don't any of you find that just a little bit insulting? Through the observation window, Commander Vex was frantically tapping controls on a tablet. Dr. Kelroth, her fear readings are completely flat. In fact, I think she's actually enjoying herself. Fascinating, Dr. Kelroth muttered, making notes. The human appears to be completely immune to psychological intimidation. Perhaps its brain is damaged? Maya heard them through the intercom and waved cheerfully. My brain's fine, thanks. I just have a really high tolerance for nonsense. You should see me at family reunions. The grand arena was exactly what Maya expected from aliens with too much money and not enough imagination. Think Roman Colosseum, but with more neon lights and definitely better sound systems. Thousands of alien spectators filled the stands, cheering and waving tentacles, claws, and various other appendages. Ladies, gentlemen, and assorted multidimensional beings, the announcer's voice boomed across the arena, welcome to Execution Entertainment's premiere event. Maya walked out into the center of the arena and immediately started examining the walls. The energy barriers hummed with power, but she could see the projection nodes. Standard deflector technology, probably military surplus. Meanwhile, her fellow contestants were doing their best to look menacing. Zrak was roaring and flexing. Whisper had formed into a dramatic cape of darkness. The Hive Mind Collective had arranged themselves into the shape of a giant skull. Really going all out with the theatrics, aren't you? Maya called over to them while running her hand along the arena wall. You know they can't actually hear you up there, right? Those are sound dampeners. Silence, human, Zrak bellowed. Prepare to meet your doom. Yeah, about that. Maya found what she was looking for, a maintenance panel disguised as decorative stonework. I've got a question. How exactly does this doom thing work? Do we all fight each other until there's one winner? Or is it more of a free-for-all situation? Whisper's ethereal voice drifted across the arena. The last being standing claims victory. The rest become food for the survivors. Right. Standard Battle Royale rules. Maya pried open the panel with her fingernails, revealing a complex array of circuits and power conduits. But here's the thing I don't get. Why are we fighting each other instead of them? She pointed up at the VIP box where Commander Vex and Dr. Kelroth were watching through protective barriers. The other monsters paused their intimidation displays. What do you mean? The Hive Mind Collective asked in unison. Maya started disconnecting power cables with the casual efficiency of someone who'd done this before. Well, they kidnapped all of us, stuck us in a cage, and now they're charging admission to watch us kill each other. Seems to me like they're the real problem here. But the rules, Whisper began. What rules? Maya had found the main power coupling for the containment field. Did anyone here actually agree to participate in this little death match? Because I sure didn't. Srak's massive head tilted in confusion. You are not going to fight us? Why would I fight you? You didn't kidnap me. You didn't lock me up. You're not the one selling tickets to watch me die. Maya gave the power coupling a sharp twist, and several of the arena's defensive systems sparked and went offline. Face it, guys, we're all just the entertainment. But here's the thing about humans that these idiots never bothered to research. She turned to face her fellow monsters with a grin that was somehow more unsettling than all their roars and threats combined. We don't like being told what to do. And we really don't like being anyone's entertainment. Up in the control room, alarms started blaring as Maya's sabotage began cascading through the arena's systems. What is it doing? Commander Vex shrieked. I believe Dr. Kelroth said slowly that we may have made a tactical error. Maya had completely dismantled 3 more control panels by the time the other monsters realized what was happening. The arena's defensive systems were failing one by one, and she was already working on the main containment grid. You see, the thing about humans, Maya explained while rewiring a power junction, is that we're really good at breaking things. Especially things that are designed to keep us contained. But you are just one small human, Srak said, his voice lacking its earlier boom. We are apex predators from across the galaxy. Yeah, and that's your problem right there. Maya pointed a screwdriver she'd improvised from arena debris at him. You're predators. You hunt individual prey. You rely on fear and intimidation. But humans? We're pack hunters. We use tools. We adapt. And most importantly, we hold grudges. Whisper drifted closer, its shadowy form less threatening and more curious. What are you proposing? I'm proposing we stop playing their game and start playing ours. Maya had found the arena's central control hub, cleverly disguised as a decorative pillar. Srak, you're strong, right? How strong? I can crush starship hulls with my bare hands, he said proudly, then caught himself. I mean, prepare to die, human. Perfect. And Whisper, you can phase through solid matter? Among other abilities, yes. Excellent. And you guys, she gestured to the Hive Mind Collective, you can interface with electronic systems? We can process millions of data streams simultaneously, they replied. Outstanding. Here's what we're going to do. Maya started pulling access panels off the central pillar, revealing the arena's main computer core. We're going to turn this whole execution into a jailbreak. But first, we need to have a little conversation with our hosts. She connected several power cables directly to the communication system, bypassing the normal controls entirely. Attention, Commander Vex and Dr. Kelroth, Maya's voice echoed throughout the arena and the observation decks. I'd like to discuss the terms of our employment. Employment? Vex's voice screeched through the speakers. Well, yeah. So you've got us down here providing entertainment for your paying customers. That makes us performers. And performers deserve proper compensation, workplace safety, and basic benefits. I don't see any of that in our current arrangement. Up in the VIP box, aliens were starting to point and murmur. This wasn't the blood sport they'd paid to see. The human has malfunctioned, Dr. Kelroth announced. We should activate the emergency termination protocol. Oh, about those termination protocols, Maya said cheerfully, holding up a handful of circuits she'd just removed. Funny thing about human military engineers. We're really good at finding the off switches for things. The arena's weapon systems tried to activate and failed. The backup containment fields flickered and died. Even the lights started strobing in patterns that spelled out rude words in 17 different alien languages. Now, Maya continued, here's what I'm thinking. Instead of killing each other for your amusement, my new friends and I are going to redecorate this place. Srak's going to help with the demolition. Whisper's going to handle security penetration. The collective is going to take over your computer systems. And me? I'm going to provide tactical coordination. She paused for dramatic effect. Think of it as a hostile takeover with more property damage. What followed could only be described as the most organized chaos in galactic history. Maya had somehow turned a collection of deadly monsters into a surprisingly effective military unit. "Zarak, I need you to focus on structural supports, not random destruction," Maya called out as the massive reptilian punched through a load-bearing wall. "We want them trapped, not buried." "But random destruction is more fun," Zarak complained, though he adjusted his targeting to the supports Maya had marked. "I know, buddy, but trust me. Strategic destruction is way more satisfying in the long run." Meanwhile, Whisper had phased through the arena's walls and was systematically disabling security systems throughout the ship. Its voice drifted back through the arena's communication system. "The guards are panicking. They have no protocols for dealing with intangible threats. Beautiful work. Collective, how are we doing on computer access?" The hive mind had swarmed over the central control hub, interfacing directly with the ship's systems through hundreds of tiny connections. "We have accessed 37% of the ship's network. Their security is laughably primitive." "That's what happens when you get overconfident," Maya said, welding two power conduits together to create what was essentially a massive electromagnetic pulse generator. They never considered that their entertainment might fight back intelligently. Up in the control room, Commander Vex was running around in circles while Dr. Kelroth frantically tried to regain control of the ship's systems. "How is this possible?" Vex shrieked. "It's just one human and 3 monsters." "4 monsters," Dr. Kelroth corrected grimly. "I'm beginning to suspect we've categorized the human incorrectly." The ship shuddered as Zarak systematically destroyed the arena's support structure. Emergency klaxons blared as Whisper disabled life support to non-essential areas. Warning lights flashed as the collective took over more and more of the ship's functions. And through it all, Maya coordinated the chaos like a conductor leading a very destructive orchestra. "Whisper, can you get to the main power core?" she called out. "Already there. What do you need?" "I need you to reroute power from the engines to the arena's defensive systems, but backwards." "Backwards?" "Trust me on this one. Zarak, I need you to stop hitting things for exactly 30 seconds and get everyone away from the walls." "But I like hitting things." "I know, and you're great at it. But in 30 seconds, you're going to like what happens next even more." "We have achieved full network access," the collective announced. "What are your orders?" Maya grinned and activated her improvised electromagnetic pulse device. "Lock down every system on this ship except life support and artificial gravity, and patch me through to the ship's main communication array." Acknowledged. The lights flickered, and suddenly Maya's voice was broadcasting not just throughout the ship, but across the entire galactic communication network. "Hello, Galaxy. This is Captain Maya Rodriguez of the human military. You're watching what happens when you underestimate Earth's most dangerous export." She gestured around the now destroyed arena where her monster allies were systematically dismantling everything in sight. "See, humans have this funny quirk. We make friends with the monsters." 20 minutes later, Commander Vex and Dr. Kelroth found themselves standing in the center of their own arena, surrounded by cheering monsters and one very smug human. Maya had jury-rigged the arena's systems to work in reverse. Now the VIP boxes were sealed, and the arena floor was open to the ship's corridors. The former prisoners had become the guards, and the former guards were now the entertainment. "The irony is just delicious, isn't it?" Maya said, settling into Commander Vex's former chair in the observation deck. She'd found his personal stash of expensive alien whiskey and was enjoying a glass while watching the 2 aliens panic below. "This is highly irregular," Vex shouted up at her. "Oh, I know. But here's the thing about humans that you really should have researched before kidnapping one." Maya took a sip of the whiskey. It tasted like liquid starlight with a hint of cinnamon. "We don't just break your stuff. We make it work better." She gestured to the control panels around her, which were now operated by the Hive Mind Collective. They'd improved the arena's systems by about 300% and added some creative modifications. For instance, your old setup only had basic life support and weapon systems. Boring. But now we've got a full environmental control suite, holographic projectors, and my personal favorite. She pressed a button, and the arena floor became a perfect replica of a human beach, complete with sand and artificial sunlight, custom atmosphere programming. Down in the arena, Commander Vex was standing ankle-deep in sand, looking thoroughly confused. "But don't worry," Maya continued. "We're not going to make you fight monsters for our entertainment. That would be cruel." Vex and Kelroth looked relieved. "Instead, we're going to make you explain to the galaxy why you thought it was a good idea to capture and torment sentient beings for profit." Their relief evaporated. Whisper materialized next to Maya's chair, its form now looking less like impending doom and more like a very satisfied shadow. "The broadcast is reaching 17 billion viewers across 43 star systems," it reported. "Outstanding. Zrak, how's our engine situation?" "All systems operating at maximum efficiency." Zrak called from the engine room, where he was apparently having the time of his life learning how to operate starship machinery. "I like fixing things almost as much as breaking them." "See, that's the beautiful thing about monster rehabilitation," Maya explained to the camera that was broadcasting their conversation across the galaxy. "Give them a constructive outlet, and they're perfectly reasonable individuals." She stood up and walked to the edge of the observation deck, looking down at the two aliens who had tried to execute her for the entertainment of others. "Now, gentlemen, let's talk about why I was really captured. Because it wasn't for war crimes, was it?" Dr. Kelroth's tentacles were writhing nervously. "I don't know what you mean." "Sure you do. See, I did a little reading while the collective was hacking your databases. Turns out I'm not the first human you've tried this little execution show with. There have been dozens of others. All military. All engineers. All captured under different pretenses." She smiled, and it wasn't a nice smile. "You weren't trying to execute criminals. You were trying to eliminate a threat. Because someone in your government finally figured out what humans really are." Maya turned to address the camera directly. "We're not just another species, folks. We're the species that takes your monsters and turns them into our best friends. We're the species that looks at your unbreakable prisons and sees puzzle boxes. We're the species that turns your execution chambers into liberation movements." She gestured to her new crew, a massive reptilian demolitions expert, a reformed fear-eating shadow creature, and a hive mind that had discovered the joy of creative problem-solving. "The Galactic Coalition was right to be afraid of us. But they made one critical mistake." Maya raised her glass in a toast to the camera. "They tried to make an example of us instead of just staying out of our way. And now, thanks to their galaxy-wide broadcast, every species out there knows exactly what humans are capable of when you give us the right motivation." She finished her drink and set the glass down. "So here's the deal, Galaxy. My friends and I are going to borrow this ship for a while. We've got some traveling to do, some people to liberate, and some very pointed conversations to have with certain government officials. Don't worry, we'll take good care of their property." Maya paused and grinned. "After all, we're the good guys. We just happen to be really, really good at it." The broadcast ended, and across the galaxy, military strategists were having very urgent meetings about something called the human problem. Meanwhile, in the depths of space, a stolen Coalition warship flew toward the galactic core, crewed by the most unlikely friendship in the universe. And in the captain's chair, Maya Rodriguez was already planning their next impossible victory, because that's what humans do. They turn the impossible into Tuesday afternoon.